This is the second year under the APNU-AFC administration that local government elections are being held. More recently, President David Granger gave assurance that local government elections will always be held when they are due. In this week's InfoHub In-Depth, we look at the importance of the elections and the preparations for hosting this year's LGE scheduled for November 12th.
The inaugural Green Guyana Expo is almost here at the National Stadium Tarmac, October 18 to 20. Come and experience green living, green technologies, green agriculture, and so much more. Gates will be open 2 p.m. daily, and admission and secured parking is absolutely free. Enjoy live entertainment throughout the event with food and drinks and exciting games for the kids. Come out, learn green, go green. Let's experience our future together.
Local government elections is a constitutional entitlement afforded every citizen. However, these elections were not held for more than 20 years under the previous administration. President David Granger noted that his party, when in opposition, had brought intense pressure to bear on the previous administration, demanding LGE be held.
We went into Parliament and we passed bill after bill calling for local government elections to be held, calling for the establishment of Local Governments Commission. Up to 2014, we mobilized civil society, we mobilized the entire opposition, we mobilized the donor community, calling for the government of the day under President Donald Ramatar to honor his constitutional obligation to hold local government elections. He refused to hold local government elections even when the bills were passed in Parliament. He refused to assent to them. So by the beginning of 2015, we knew we were going nowhere under the PPP as far as local government elections were concerned. But these elections are constitutional entitlement. They're not a favor that a political party can give the people.
10 months after assuming office in 2015, the APNU-AFC administration facilitated the first local government elections in 22 years. November 12, 2018 will be the second time under this administration that local government elections will be held. President Granger committed to the holding of local government elections under his leadership.
We didn't hold local government elections in order to necessarily win. We held local government elections because they were your entitlement. Win, lose, or draw, we will continue to hold local government elections whenever they fall due.
The president recently pointed out that local government elections is about satisfying the needs of the people.
I don't see local government elections as being political in terms of party politics. I see local government elections as delivering services to the people.
In fact, the head of state noted local government elections is an opportunity for communities, municipalities, and regions to develop.
But I just want to emphasize to you that this whole concept of local government elections empowers you to make decisions which are in the best interests of your community.
Local government elections will be held on November 12. President Granger stressed these elections are not about party politics.
That is why the elections are split in two. First past the post and also proportional representation. What I'm asking you to do is consider the candidates who you know. Nobody can send a candidate from Letem or Madia. The person has to come from this community. You have to know the person. You have to trust the person. So, without asking those questions, we're going to fall back into stagnation, domination, and discrimination. I do not ever want to see the day where a minister of communities or a minister of local government could simply drive up some Wednesday morning and remove an elected council. My brothers and sisters, November the 12th is a big opportunity for those all. I'm asking you to come out in your numbers. As I said, this is not a partisan affair. This is a developmental affair.
Nomination Day 2018 was both exciting and historic as it represented the evolution of Guyana's democracy, Minister of Communities Ronald Bolkan had said.
In the local government elections, it will be held on 12th November, and it will mark the first time in the post-independent history of Guyana that successive local government elections are being held as legally or constitutionally due.
Minister Bolkan described the election as historic for various reasons, including the frequency being held under the current administration and the framework used to guide the process.
I've always had a deep conviction that the decentralized model of governance that it provides for, which, as I said earlier, is a rejection and a repudiation of winner-takes-all, is indeed one of the critical measures that will help us to achieve social cohesion.
The minister said following the 1994 hosting of the local government elections, councillors were merely there for cosmetic value. Under this government, Minister Bolkan noted persons are being empowered to serve their communities.
That attitude of control that existed in the previous dispensation has been removed and replaced with an attitude and a philosophy that respects not only the authority, but significantly the autonomy of these councils, where they'll be allowed to garner the revenue and resources that they are needed. And that attitude of control has been replaced with one of cooperation and collaboration.
9 new local authorities, 1 new town in Madhya, 80 councillors and additional 8 neighbourhood democratic councils are participating in this year's local government elections. Minister Bolkan explained the government is not only deepening the system of local government, but broadening it, allowing for more participation. Local government elections are held in Guyana using a mixed electoral system of proportional representation and first past the post. 50% or half of the number of councillors of each local authority area will be elected through the proportional representation component and the other 50% through the first past the post or constituency component.
On September 21st, political parties, voluntary groups and individuals submitted their list of candidates with pomp and ceremony to the GECOMs of returning officers across the country to contest local government election on November 12th.
Chairperson of the People's National Congress, Valda Lawrence, welcomed the return of local government elections.
But we welcome everyone, all the individuals, the groups, and the other political parties, that they too have an opportunity through the David Granger's administration to participate at the local level in ensuring that we build our communities, that people become more community-oriented, and that we take ownership of our communities.
Minister Lawrence said taking ownership of one's community will benefit that individual and generations to come. She was very pleased with the nomination day process.
The process was very thorough, very smooth, and we had absolutely no issues as the deputy representative of the list presented.
Georgetown's Deputy Mayor Akeem Peters is returning as a candidate. He said several new persons are contesting this year's local government elections.
A lot of new faces have agreed to be a part of their constituency leadership at the level of the City Council. And as you can see, we have more than likely, nearly every constituency there's a new face, and that is what the party is about. We are about progress. We know that we had to prepare for this moment. So it's a preparation. From 2015 to now, we have been preparing in our communities for this moment.
Meanwhile, the Alliance for Change says it is presenting a slate of new local government election candidates. Region 4 Chairman Michael Leonard said while the party is open to persons with experience, the nature of local government enables new persons to get on board.
I have actually asked some of our members to step back and allow new blood, new persons with new ideas, new vision and energy to come and be a part of the process.
In the lead up to the elections on November 12, Leonard said the AFC will continue its grassroots campaign.
We're being very strategic. We're not looking for theatrics. We want to ensure that we communicate to persons our core values and principles, transparency and accountability. So we're going to be going to the citizens as well and ensuring that we get them to give us some input. Let us know what they want us to do when we get there. Because council and NDC is more than just cleaning drains. We want to move past that and start doing actual things in the community.
Leonard said the party is contesting the elections in all 15 constituencies in Georgetown. He added AFC will continue speaking on behalf of citizens and pushing for accountability and transparency. Sitting PPP councillor Bisram Koppen said that he believes there should be change at City Hall. The party is contesting on better representation for Georgetown residents.
We have just submitted our list of 50 names of candidates who we have selected through intense house-to-house consultations in the communities. So it's a true representation of the people within the community. They're all knowledgeable, they're experienced, they're ready, willing and able to go into City Hall and to overhaul City Hall. Our team that is selected to contest this election, we think is the best team. It's the best team at the right time and it's the right choice. So we hope that citizens will support us in bringing change.
The Georgetown resident believes that better can be done for residents of the capital city.
Within the next few days, we'll be rolling out our full plan. Right now, our purpose here was to submit our list. But you will hear from our candidates. We will be introducing or reintroducing the candidates to the communities, and we'll have a plan which we will publish.
On August 9th, the order was signed and gazetted designating Madia as a town. Madia will be the capital town for Region 8, Petaro-Siparuni. Residents will vote to establish the mayor and council at November 12th local government elections.
Madia is the 10th town to be established in Guyana. The community's elevation is in accordance with President David Granger's pronouncements, which has seen the upgrading of the hinterland administrative centers of Bartica, Mabaruma, Lethem, and Madia. However, the establishment of the township of Madia was initially challenged by the demarcation of the constituency's boundaries. In a statement released in August by the Ministry of Communities, the indigenous communities of Campbelltown and Microbe's concerns, as expressed by the village councils following a series of consultations, were resolved. Madia's transformation has already started with the upgrading of 80% of the internal roads from laterite to concrete that will last for decades. Madia's residents are looking forward to the community's transformation. Utiv McLeod said she is happy to hear Madia will become a town, but cautioned strong leadership is needed.
I do hope that Madia being a town, we won't have cases to deal with like persons that cannot handle the seats that they want to fight for. I'm hoping that they won't want to sit there knowing that they can't handle it.
Feroz Khan, who's been living in Madia for the past 18 years, says it is great that the community is developing.
This is what we're looking for a long time now. Like to see a lot of improvements and job opportunity for the people, not just mining.
Cassandra Burrows said she is excited about the opportunities it will provide for young people.
I'm happy that our kids here, the young people here, will be exposed to different programs, the institute, because so far our residents here, they have some children who are they cannot afford to go to Georgetown to further their studies and so on.
Local radio announcer Lisa Lee says it's a big step for Madia.
I was born here, I grew up here, I did all of my schooling here, and I see this as a big moving forward for the people and other surrounding areas. Madia will not only have its own Guyana Revenue Authority, it will have other institutes, agencies that will help to make Madia a better place.
Contractor Abijah Trotman said it was a good initiative.
Central government, I think, need to place a lot of emphasis into putting certain infrastructure in place, like our banks and these things. Nevertheless, the community has a lot of work to do. And I think we're capable, and we will work together to make sure that it's a success.
Plans have been advanced for the construction of a government compound in Madia that will house a number of government agencies such as the Guyana Revenue Authority, Guyana Lands and Surveys Commission, Guyana Water Inc. and other agencies.
The Guyana Elections Commission is prepared within the letter of the law for holding local government elections on November 12th, Chief Executive Officer Keith Lowenfield has assured.
If you ask me about the noises being made about funding, And whether we have enough funding, we're spending the money available to us. I'm sure there are arrangements should we not be able. We'll be shouting ourselves to the authorities that be. But as we stand 52 days prior, we're in very good stead as far as the conduct of these elections go. Notwithstanding money, noises but money, and issues before the court.
Lowenfield said some $1.6 million has been approved for the holding of the elections.
We're working within the confines of the approved budget for the conduct of these elections.
Lowenfield added stakeholders are becoming accustomed to elections being run within a specified period. This, he noted, is a positive sign. He assured the elections body will be ready whenever the stipulated statutory period comes around for the elections to be held. GECOM has launched its voter education program, placing emphasis on electors. Public Relations Officer Yolanda Ward.
We have since started our program as it relates to the voter education aspect over the last 3 weeks or so. We've had a weekly local government elections in U Corner in the newspapers. It's a weekly publication. And we have also been in the process of disseminating a number of flyers. Our video element, or audio visual element, will commence next week, focusing primarily on the voter education aspect, rights and responsibilities, eligibility, the voting process, and all that is required for the elector to be aware of as it relates to participating in the local government elections process.
GECOM has identified a company to commence work on its social media education awareness, but the voter education campaign is being managed in-house.
For each individual production, whichever company emerged as the successful bidder, that's the company that was selected. So there is no one specific company. As it relates to placement, that's being done by GECOM, so it's not an advertising company that is managing that process for us. So we have already commenced that process in terms of the placement as it relates to the television stations and so forth.
Youths will be among those taking to the polls on November 12th for the coalition government's second local government elections. Many are of the view that if they do not vote, their voices as young people will not be heard. Recently, persons shared with InfoHub why voting is important.
Every issue is a youth issue. And if young people do not go out and vote, of course, it is your democratic right, of course, to vote. And if you want to see better for your country, you must not only just champion it by words, but of course by action. And that action, of course, is to go out and vote.
I'm going to be voting because if I don't, then I shouldn't have any say as to the problems that are going to be in society if the person elected doesn't do what is expected, because then I would have had the opportunity to make a difference. I would have had the opportunity to have somebody there that would do the things that should be done. But if I don't vote, how can I say anything if I'm unhappy?
It's important for young people to vote because that's our right. And if we don't vote, then we have right to say nothing. Because when a bad experience come up, who we're gonna complain to? So everybody should be voting. It's our right, and it gives us right to speech as well.
I will be voting at local government elections. I feel voting is very important because it not only contributes to democracy, it tells your elected members that you are giving them a privilege and a power to make decisions on my behalf.
Region 10 residents are also planning to ensure their voice is heard through their vote on November 12th.
Yes, I'm voting. It's the right of every citizen. This is a democratic process where you look at persons within your community that you feel able and capable of taking your community forward. Not voting, it puts you in a bad position where if things go wrong, you can't really complain. So voting means that you're part of the process. and you'll be there to help move the process forward. So I'm encouraging all residents of Upper Demerara Bobbies to come out and vote, support the election, vote, support the candidate of your choice, and vote.
The reason why I would encourage people to come out and vote for the local government, because your voice have to be heard. And for your voice to be heard, you have to come out and vote and let the people know exactly what is going on in your community. You are the most important person in your community. And without you, the head of government and other people who are responsible for the communities will not know what is going on in the community. So we need to come out and vote to show that you have interest in your community and you would like to see your community move forward, and also to explain what you need to be done in your community.
It is important to vote because you give the voice to the electoral process in selecting the person or persons who represent you. So I'll be voting in this local government election to give voice to the electoral process.
I will be voting, and I'm encouraging the youths in Linden to go out and vote, because tomorrow it will be a better position for you.
Local government is a means of mutual respect since it allows persons to work together for their community's benefit. That is the beauty of LGE, everybody wins. So go on out on November 12th and cast your vote.
Tell.
Disclosure is important. Encouraging a partner to test can be life-saving. Disclosing or encouraging a partner to test does not have to be your sole responsibility. Professionals can help.
So, you can call and tell them for me?
Yes.
Thank you.
I will tell. I just need some time.
I am HIV positive.
Don't let your doubts and fears get the best of you. Having the other person know their status is just as important as you knowing yours. Partner testing is not only for the other person, but also for you. Encourage your partners to test and disclose. Staying on treatment can lead to a normal and healthy life.
You're looking good, my friend.
I don't need this anymore.
You safe, bro. You don't need more pills, boy.
Looking your best or having a low viral load does not mean you no longer have HIV. There is no cure, but treatment helps you to stay healthy and live a long and full life.
It's just a little cough, babes. It's just the exercise, buddy. You good.
Remain on treatment once you've started. Remember, don't share pills or take someone else's pills. Staying on the medication helps in improving quality of life, decreases the risk of HIV transmission, and can lead to suppression of the virus.